Hello everyone, Carlos Flores, back on basics. So, before we begin this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel at Back on Basics 9985. Hit the notification button so you can get notified of any new video that comes on board. If you have a topic, suggestion, feedback, question, or if you want me to give you my take on anything, put it in the comment section and I'll be more than happy to do so. If you want to connect with me on social media outlets, on Facebook, you can search for me, Carlos Flores Jr. On Instagram, on X, and on Threads, you can type in at Back on Basics. So, let's talk about, let's back up a little bit. Before we begin this video, I want to say thank you to the 512 subscribers. We're growing, not exponentially, but that's okay though, because remember, it's Back on Basics, right? A lot of people are still saying, okay, what is this channel about? What is Back on Basics 9985 about? How is this going to help me? Are there anything that I can do to have mind, body, emotional, and spiritual balance? I mean, there's so many different ways that people may look at this YouTube channel. I mean, it's something that I love doing, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, yesterday, as an introvert, this is one of my favorite things to do, talk. But the thing is that I'm very selective as to what I talk about, because talking about just random topics, yeah, I can do that. I can talk and talk and talk. But at the same time, I'm very selective because I want to have passion. I want to have focus. I want to have balance. I want to be able to say, this is my stamp of approval for this topic. And so I want to make sure that you understand that the topics that we talk about in this channel or in these videos, they're not thought about, they're not lightly thought about. And so these are the things that, it's happening in the news, it's happening in other places, they're topics that deal with psychology, counseling, life balance, life coaching. I mean, there's so many different things that we go through as human beings. And it's amazing that a lot of the times we take a lot of things for granted. And so I want to make sure that you understand that this channel, I mean, for the most part, there may be some funny videos, there may be some cooking videos, there may be some places that we visit that I make shorts or something like that. But at the same time, this channel will give you tools that you're going to accept or not accept, and that's okay, right? So that way you can make decisions on the activities that you're doing or have to do. And so again, this channel will give you options, will give you topics, will give you subtopics. And so, stay with me. There's different kind of videos that I've done. Long videos, shorts, micro shorts on Instagram, reels on Facebook. I mean, those are the things that happen, right? Those are the things that come naturally. But I want to make sure that if you have a suggestion, if you have a comment, have you ever been thinking about something? Then you do that. You talk about it. You put it in the comments section. You give us a like. You subscribe so that way you can always come back to do that. So for example, today's topic is about extroverts. What does the extrovert mean, right? And so yesterday we talked about how an introvert, right, can like myself, and I use myself as an example, help. And I'm not saying that extroverts don't help, because they do help a lot. I mean, they help a lot. Introverts tend to watch the room, right? See the things that are happening here, here. And then they meet with a small group of people, right? They may not even lead the conversation. They may not even look for opportunities. They just want to connect a strong relationship. And so that's what introverts, extroverts introverts are about. I apologize. I'm going back and forth. But extroverts are different. Extroverts are the life of the party. Extroverts, what they do is they talk to almost, if not all, the people at a gathering, at a at church, or at a at a party, or however. And extroverts have this superpower. Extroverts have either the memory to remember names, uh, contact information, and just social media outlets that people use. And at the same time, some of them write things down on their phones. And that's what I love about extroverts. You guys have that superpower. Introverts, we build those relationships with our emotions. We build those relationships with, by making sure that we leave an impression. Extroverts do the same, but they also are good note takers. They have a good memory, because when somebody tells them their name, their contact information, they write it down. They put it on their phone, and then that's the kicker is the superpower is that some, if not most, will write either a few words or a short sentence saying how this person came to be in contact with the extrovert. Imagine, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes as an introvert, I forget how a person and I connected, because we're so into the building the relationship that we don't write things down. And that's something that introverts for the most part do. But extroverts, they have, they remember things. They write things down. They put it on their phones. And so by doing that, they're able to focus on with people again. Yes, you connected at a party. Yes, you connected at a church meeting. Yes, you connected at an event. Well, now they're going to connect on the outside. And again, with the name, contact information, maybe social media outlets that you people can join, but at the same time, that context clue, and I'm going to call it a context clue, the context clue that they write down, the few words or the sentence, helps them keep in mind some of the things. That context clue, those words that are on that list, on that phone about that person they connected with, bring up, right? The conversation, the thing. So yeah, oh yeah, I remember. We talked about this. How are you doing with this? Is there anything that I can help you with? They're kind of like salesmen, ladies and gentlemen. But you know what? They have that superpower where they can connect with people not only once, but over and over and over again. And so, versus introverts that we watch the room, right? We make sure that we're very specific. We, after watching the room and how people are doing, you go as introverts and talk to a small amount of people, and then we connect with them. And yes, those are rich relationships. Believe me, those are very win-win, two-way street relationships. But at the same time, while we have a smaller group yet very tight-knit group, the extroverts have a large pool to connect with, and they actually connect their way. Like I said, their superpower is those context clues. Who and how did we come in contact with? When did we set up another meeting? I mean, they write, they remember, and then they remember and then write, right? I remember when I used to do the Chamber of Commerce here in the Sacramento area. And so people would give physical cards. Remember that? Physical cards. And so one of the extroverts that came with me said, "Hey, Carlos, turn it over." And then in the back of the card, you write, "Met at this event. This is the name of the person, contact information of the person. Met talked about these topics he or she is interested in, amazing, right? And so he bought me a book that I can put all my cards in, and then I would flip over them. And sometimes, because sometimes you connect with people, then you remember, right? You remember the codes, you remember the context clues as to how you met this person. And so extrovert superpower is just that. They can reconnect with people. It may not be a very deep connection, but it's a connection. It's a connection in order for a win-win situation, right? For a collaboration, for those people to become part of a person's support system. So again, right? That's the difference between introverts, like myself, and extroverts, where, right, small group, tight connection, large group, not as deep connection, but the context clues is what makes a huge difference, because with those words, they bring up everything. They bring up that memory. They bring up what they talked about. They bring up about a lot of things. So one of the things that I used to do is I used to go into companies and I used to talk about, well, how can we get with the workforce? And so I said, look, my recommendation is for you to get, to get a balance between introverts and extroverts, right? The extroverts will go in there, they'll do the initial connection, they'll get their context clues, and they will reach out to these people, and then it will be handed to the introverts that will make that relationship, that will create that partnership, that will make it a win-win-win-win-win situation. So again, right, that's the difference between an introvert and an extrovert. So subscribe to my YouTube channel at Back on Basics 9985. Hit the notification button so you can get notified of any new video that comes on board. Remember, what is your superpower? Is your superpower to observe and build these deep-rooted two-way street relationships as an introvert, or is your superpower in order to talk to every single person that you can in that room and create a list, either mental list on your phone or written down, so that way you can reconnect with them at a later point and then create that win-win situation also. Back on Basics.